Welcome, everyone. This is Season 2, Episode 21 of the Weekly Ward. I'm Dan Ward, your host as always, and next to me, my partner in crime, Kevin Jones.
The daddy.
And we're back at it again, another Wednesday, which means another episode, and a lot of stuff, a lot of moving pieces going on this week. We've got multiple tournaments to talk about. There was pretty much a major event in every corner of the earth this weekend.
Yeah, there was an SCG Open in Baltimore in the U.S. There was a modern Grand Prix in Copenhagen, Denmark. Hagen, however you say that. And then there was a modern Grand Prix in Kobe, Japan.
Yeah.
With the coolest deck ever that made top 8 that we'll get to later.
Down. People are talking about Magic dying. There was like 6,500 players playing Modern this weekend.
Who's talking about Magic dying? Ed?
No, Ed always talking about Magic dying. Magic is great, and Modern is great. And we're going to start off the show by saying thanks to Kerwin's Game Store for letting us do it every week.
Of course, we appreciate that.
Definitely check out our web store if you haven't. It's great. We're putting out lots of content. Kevin just talked about it. We got the latest video up there, a little deck of the week for Temur Marvel.
Some fairies.
Some fairies.
I get to play against the deadliest shadows and show them how great the daddy is, given the daddy work. There's a marvelous weekend.
Yeah, we got everything on here. So even if you're just you're in here just for the comedy with me and Kevin and you're into other games, we have everything from TCGs to role-playing game equipment, everything that you need. I don't know if we technically have like a LARPing line.
Best place in sleeves.
We could have a best place in sleeves. Yes. So with that being said, we're going to go right into sleeves.
Before we go right into what we're supposed to go right into,
can we go left into?
We're going to talk about Eds for a second.
We're going to talk about what?
Ed.
Okay. For those of you that don't know who Ed is a travel manager of our store.
Yeah.
Okay.
The king of the booth.
The
best
king.
buyer there is.
The best in the world? You're giving them that?
I think so.
The best in the world at what I do you not understand? That Jericho line?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so
we are back. And with that, sorry,
We've got sleeves.
All right, let's start it off. First event, GP Copenhagen. We've got Mr. Mattia Risi, and I am so happy for him. He just awesome, worked together many a times. He's just a great person, and his accent's great. And he actually is a pretty good cook. It's like a little rundown profile.
He's a cool guy. Yeah. I met him at the World Cup. He was class act. We had some conversations. Italians are pretty cool. I met a handful of them there. All 4 of the team members seemed like nice people.
All right, let's give a little rundown here for the GP. Here you go. Boom. Hit him.
We got first place, Mattia Rizzi, $10,000.
He's rich.
Second place, $5,000, Christian Ortiz Ros. I thought it was Rios, but maybe not.
Okay.
Maybe it's misspelled. I don't know. Third place, $2,500, Kim Stroh.
Okay.
Fourth place, $2,500, Martin Mueller. What a heater!
Back to back.
Fifth place, $1,500, Timu Halonen. Sixth place, $1,500, Remy Lefrancois. Seventh place, $1,500, Michael Stenicky. And eighth place, $1,500, Gunnar Geisler. That's an awesome German name there, Gunnar Geisler.
The Gunnar. Should he be playing Mardu vehicles, like for sure?
just suiting
like
them up.
Getting them in there.
Boom.
All right, we got a lot to go over here, but we're going to highlight Mattia's deck. We're going to get into Brad's deck, definitely, from the SCG from Baltimore, where we were both at. Same deck, but a couple differences. So we've got the creature base here, 4 Death Shadow, 4 Snapcaster Mage, 4 Street Rates, which I believe they both had. In fact, I think their creature sweep was the same.
I think everyone's was.
And then 2 Gurmag Angler, 2 Tassiger. Sorceries. 2 Inquisitions, 4 Thoughtseize, like 6 hand destruction spells, usually where this deck wants to be at. 4 Serum Visions, then getting into the instants, which are very important because we have not only Tassiger, but Snapcaster Mage to be able to get them.
Stubborn Denial is a good one.
You got 4 Thought Scours, 3 Fatal Push, 2 Kolgan's Command, 2 Lightning Bolt, 2 Stubborn Denial, as you mentioned, and 2 Terminates. Pretty good sweep there, right? And Dylan, I was going to highlight that. I think it's interesting that Brad played 4 Fatal Pushes and only 1 Lightning Bolt. It's kind of interesting seeing a deck like this not really have enough room for Lightning Bolt. What does that say?
He said that he only played 1 Bolt. He might play a second.
Okay.
But I like 4 Fatal Push.
I do too, especially when you're expecting a lot of the mirror. But Lightning Bolt's just one of those cards that sometimes you think you want to be able to bolt yourself, right? It's kind of the Tarfire in the modern version.
It's weird. Bolting yourself is super weird.
Okay.
Like, it's just not great a lot of the time unless, like, they're trying to block your Death Shadow, which is something that they shouldn't be doing very often, I think.
Okay.
Like, you just bolt them, and, like, it's better if your Death Shadow dies, right? Because you, like, bolt yourself attack for 6 instead of 3.
Hey, Devin, what's going on? We got Devin Connolly in there.
All right.
I did want to start off with a poll. Sorry, each topic we're going to have a poll today. So the first poll is going to come up on the screen here. So we're going to leave the poll up, and then once we're wrapping up the topic, then we're going to come back to it and
we'll get the results of the poll. We'll give people about
10
10 minutes or 15 minutes or so to vote.
And I'll try to lean away from saying how I feel about the poll until the end, because then we'll just make it all about the poll.
Notorious.
And then we'll be like, oh my God, you said yes, I said no. And we'll try not to do that.
We'll do that at the end, though.
We can definitely do that at the end. So much of the sideboard, I think decisions for both of the decks were similar too. We've got Ceremonious Rejections. We've got some Graveyard Hate, a couple Spell Bombs, Grafdigger's Cage, Surgical Extraction, Collective Brutality. Just a really good card in this deck, right?
Yeah.
Just like does everything you want to do, and it puts stuff in the graveyard.
You have to trim cards sometimes, and like maybe you want to cut a Thought Scour, which is like kind of lazy sometimes, but like maybe when you're boarding, you need to cut some of the air. So Brutality also fuels Delve while being interactive as well. So it's a card that you can cut Thought Scour for.
Okay. What else we got here? Just naming off the decks here.
I think the rejections are very good.
I think so too. I saw Brad play a game against Jeffrey Ashton, and they seemed great. Like not only just versus obviously Tron, but Affinity. They just have like really hard hitting cards for 1 mana. Mm-hmm. It's like being able to counter a card for 1 mana is a pretty big deal.
Certainly. And there's less caverns, right? Are there no caverns in Eldrazi Tron now?
I think they have one. Just so they can search it out. It makes sense to me with running the Expedition maps.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, you just got to type 1 or 2 into the chat. So if you think it's yes, you got to type 1. And if you think it's no, then 2. If you want to get your vote up in there. Looking at the other decks here, I'm not surprised to see a Storm deck in there and a Counters Company. And also with the Death Shadows. Those were the 3 decks we talked about last week as being kind of like the hot decks of the moment. But it's good to see the diversity. And throughout the 3 tournaments that we're going to highlight, you're going to see a lot of different things here. We see Lantern Control came in second. We've got Living End. We've got Titan Shift. We've got Dredge. And I mentioned the other ones.
No, Living End came in second.
Oh, Living End came in second, excuse me.
It's in some weird order. I don't know.
Yeah, Lantern Control came in third. That's correct.
Yep.
So, like, here we are, Modern again. Just like
Lantern Control is a cool deck.
I think Lantern Control is just one of those decks that people are afraid to play it and learn it, and just like afraid to draw, afraid to go to time a lot.
It's like
and it just makes a lot of decisions where in Modern you can pick a deck and not have to make as many.
It's like another deck in the format. It's just so weird. It's like not quite tier 1, I don't think, but it's good.
Okay.
But it's so weird that like it doesn't.
I think
it's just not a deck that a lot of people play because.
I think it's tough because like it's hard for that kind of deck to be tier 1 because not enough people really play it, and there's weeks where like it'll just be the best deck you could be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's weeks that like, nope, this is terrible. We don't want to be doing this. So.
I've told you to play it. I know you like a good Ensnaring Bridge. But
I do. I played Ensnaring Bridge this weekend. Ensnaring Bridge was great. All right, let's get into the next GP Kobe.
Oh, we get to see my favorite deck.
I know. I already know what deck it is, too. I'm stoked. All right, let's give him the rundown.
All right, got first place.
Yes.
$10,000 Black-White Eldrazi taxes. Joe So.
Back-to-back top 8s for Joe.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I probably should have realized that I don't know what every other person's deck was when I realized this. That's okay, though. Second place, $5,000, Terramasa Kojima. Third place, $2,500, Park Bio. Fourth place, $2,500, Fumiyasu Suzuki. Fifth place, $1,500, Tomoya Tsubochi.
Okay.
Pardon me on that one. Sixth place, $1,500, Takeshi Kagawa. That one's a little bit easier. 7th place, $1,500, Akio Chiba. And 8th place, $1,500, Ryoichi Tamato.
The most famous shirt
he always wears.
Yeah.
What a killer that guy is.
Yeah, he is. He is a killer. All right, well, let's get into the deck. We got the first place deck. One of the decks that I will continually see on Moto, and every time I play against it, I lose to it, and I'm like, why would someone play this deck?
Oh,
And
it isn't
it's not
Eldrazi Taxes. It's
Yeah.
like Eldrazi mid-range.
Yeah.
Where's
And,
Blight Herder?
One of these decks actually was deep into the tournament we played in the Baltimore Open. I was watching at the top tables a black-white Eldrazi player. I watched a match versus...
Collins Mullen?
Collins
Mullen was playing Eldrazi Taxes. He knocked me out of the tournament, actually. Beat me at 4-2.
I am not sure. It was a match versus Frank Scarins I was watching. So, yeah, and Elmo does run the deck. That's true. What do you think of this deck? Like, it won a Grand Prix now. It's got to get some buzz going around it. And we've talked about, like, there was the Death and Taxes version of Eldrazi. There's been the emergence of Eldrazi Tron. You know, it's not a brand new deck, but it's still kind of new to the scene, and they're still kind of working out, like, what pieces that deck wants to play.
I think that this deck should have 4 copies of Blight Herder in it.
Okay, Blight Herder.
Yeah.
So going back to the old black Eldrazi.
Well, yeah, there's main deck Relics, there's Scullers, there's Paths.
Okay. Stranglers.
Stranglers, which process things that are already exiled. We need to make sure we get enough things exiled, though. That's the issue.
Yeah, so this is white and black, but this should just be renamed instead of Eldrazi, even though lots of the creatures are Eldrazi's, as just colorless Jund. Because that's what this kind of deck feels like to me. Like, it has a lot of the Jund elements, except, like, with Eldrazi creatures that are just really powerful for their rate.
Something really funny popped up in the chat. And... oh, shame on you, Dan. You didn't move your car.
Oh, yeah?
You know, I moved my car before we started.
Oh.
Because I was
guess that's
afraid.
important for the show. So
It's
yeah,
all right.
I didn't move my car, everyone. So we'll stop talking about this deck because I didn't move my car.
No, we can talk about Magic
Oh,
still.
okay.
But you just awkwardly looked off into the distance, and I wanted to make sure everyone knew that you were okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. I might have to leave to move my car.
No, we're gonna take care of it.
AKA
We got a lot
my
of people.
Mardu vehicle.
We got a lot of people taking care
Bomap
of it.
is our barge for those of you that
Pretty
remember the shout
famous
out.
up here. But yeah, something super funny happened in the chat. We should draw attention to it. It says, my buddy said Kevin Jones is a scrub. And I'm like, how? The dude's won an Open and played in Team Worlds, and literally the next day you won the GP. Congrats again, man. LOL. I like this. Not because it's praising me, but because somebody called me a scrub. And that makes me super happy because I'm just such a scrub.
I like how you're doing it, and then like you're going into like some beatbox rap as you started doing it, and you were like, and somebody won an Open, and then you stop.
Yeah.
And then someone said, congrats again, man. Well, you know, I think this is a topic we could have
Can we
on the
end
show.
another poll? Am I a scrub or not a scrub?
No, we're not adding that poll. We're still on Modern Healthy.
I am certainly a scrub.
And definitely a scrub. I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't
get no love from me.
checking out the passenger side of his
the
best friend's
Mardu
ride,
vehicle
trying
ride.
to holler at me.
Daddy! Scrub Daddy! I like Scrub Daddy.
Scrub daddy. Well, you do have a garbage hat on, so you could be called a scrub.
I don't know if the
But
person...
do you mean scrub like in Magic? Because I don't think that's correct.
Well, the person... I'm definitely not like the TLC type scrub. I don't know what that is, but I'm not.
But
I don't really know what that means, but I assume it translates to like deadbeat.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
Or like
I
bum.
agree. This could be something where like we have a poll eventually, and we'll do a topic about this because I think in Magic the Gathering, in the community, there's people that are put on a somewhat, I don't want to say pedestal, but some kind of weird rating system. Mm-hmm. And I was having this conversation with, I think, Tony yesterday about where people would rate me and you. Sure. And I mean, like, you and we won't get into that. This will be another topic we'll maybe do a couple weeks from now. We'll get back to. But how someone's vision of you could be the best 500 players in the world. Somebody else could put you in the best 50 players in the world.
Yeah.
And how crazy that is.
Someone is wrong.
Yeah.
Although, actually, someone's not wrong, right? Because if you put me in the best 500, or if I'm in reality in the best 50, then I'm definitely in the best 500. So
Sure.
someone is, so they could both be right.
Yeah.
But someone is wrong.
Sure.
I don't know. Whatever. But
back to modern.
No. There's stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
We can go back to modern. Whatever. I had something funny to say too.
You always have something funny to say. What do you want to say?
When I was in the Players Championship at the end of last year, there was a chat. I woke up and I didn't have to play until like 11 or whatever. So I'm watching like Jacob Baugh and Jerry play from my hotel room while I'm getting ready. I'm like doing like muscle flexing and like stretches and stuff, and I'm like getting ready. Like I got like an athletic competition because I got like a really important match for like several $1,000s.
Yeah.
Against the winner of like Tom Ross and Todd Anderson. And I watched that match, and Tom gets crushed in like 20 minutes.
Okay.
Sadly enough. And then, because I much rather would have played against Marvel than the black-green deck that Todd played. And then I watched Jerry play Jacob Baugh, and in the chat it says that it's like, 1 seed Brad Nelson versus Jacob Baugh, 2 seed Kevin Jones versus Todd Anderson coming up next or whatever. And someone's like, how did Kevin Jones get 2 seed? That guy sucks.
There you go.
And I'm like, yo, this guy knows what's going on. And then another person's like, that guy's like, he's like one of the best players in the whole tournament. What are you talking about? And I'm like, well, how do these people watch the same tournaments? They can't both be right. Yeah. It's just really funny. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll have to come back to that. Like, that's a good one. So we'll have to put that in the queue. But back to modern. I don't know how I feel about this deck. I feel like it's just like obviously a different version of Eldrazi Tron. Like, we're not trying to go as big. We're trying to stay a little lower to the ground. And I think that this deck is, just looking at it, just way better against Death Shadow. And so it can pick apart those early matchups while still having the Hand Destruction, the Thought-Knot Seers, and a quick clock with, also Tidal Sculler, but a quick clock with Reality Smasher and TKS, a.k.a. Thought-Knot Seer. So I really like this. Take a look at the other decks we got going on here. We've got some Eldrazi Tron. We've got Adnaz. We've got Affinity, staple here. Another Dredge deck.
There's literally 6 decks I could care less about. Oh, Grixis Shadow's cool.
Grixis Shadow's fine.
And then
Jeskai Control.
2 of the
Esper
greatest
Control.
decks I've ever seen played in Modern.
All right, we ready for it? Let's go to Esper first.
No, let's do Jeskai first, because I'm going to unload on the Esper deck. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's great. 4 Painful Truths.
4 Glory-Bound Initiate. And his profile picture, he's doing the Glory-Bound Initiate pose.
So, yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right, so Ryoichi Tamada's Jeskai Control. Grand Prix Kobe 2017, top 8. 4 Snapcaster Mage, 4 Spell Queller, 4 Serum Visions, 4 Lightning Bolt, 4 Path to Exile, 4 Logic Knot, 4 Cryptic Command, 4 Electrolyze, 4 Lightning Helix. 24 lands with 4 Colonnades.
P. Sully would be proud.
What is
4,
this?
4, 4, 4, 4, 24.
This is Japan. It's either all 4 ofs, or it's Painful Truths and Glory-Bound Initiate. Like, there's no middle ground. It's either ridiculous and off the wall, or it's like the most stock thing you could possibly have.
Yeah, I saw the Affinity list too. It's pretty crazy. So what do you think of this list?
One collected company?
Yeah. Is it just like is this like a thing where you just go to the binder and just grab one? You get like, well, we'll go through 1 through 20 here. We'll roll a dice. This card has to be in my deck. Affinity can literally play almost any card.
This is a burn deck.
Yeah.
It's just a Jeskai
A blue burn deck. So instead of Spell Queller, Harlan decided to play Geist.
Yeah, Harlan's deck is similar to this, except he had Remand instead of Logic Knots.
Okay. A little bounce, but he's on the 4 Electrolyze plan too.
Logic Knot, I guess, can counter Death Shadow more often than not, whereas Remand can't.
Okay, that makes sense. 24 land. We've got some other stuff in the sideboard here. Spreading Seas, Ceremony's Rejection. Picking up a little bit. We've seen this in a lot of sideboards. Yeah, clicks I like. More win conditions seem good. Like, the longer the game goes, your colonnades are going to be able to, you'll be able to ride those to victory.
This is the kind of deck that might actually be good, but you could never play it at, like, the Vault, because you would just play against, like, Eldrazi Tron with 3 Caverns every round.
Yeah, and then you just get crushed.
And just lose.
Yeah, that's kind of
like
where
how the Vault is.
I think that's why the Spreading Seas and the Ceremony's Rejections are for.
I know, he's just loading up. What I really want to know is if he has, like, a Hey Arnold-esque closet with, like, 50 or 60 copies of that shirt, or he literally just wears that shirt on every day, too. I don't know which one it is. I don't know. I want to know how many copies of that shirt Ryoichi Tamada owns.
He probably only has 1, and it's just the lucky shirt.
Maybe. I mean, I have shirts that I wear a lot of the time, but not like that. Every single top 8, he's wearing that shirt.
Yeah. Just wears the shirt a lot. All right, here we are. Glory Bound Initiate. We've got a home for you right next to Snapcaster.
What is going on?
This is crazy, right? You know what?
All right. For those of you who haven't seen this yet, 4 Snapcaster Mage, 4 Glory Bound Initiate, 1 Tassiger the Golden Fang, 4 Serum Visions, 2 Thoughtseize, 3 Collective Brutality, 2 Lingering Souls, 4 Painful Truths, 3 Fatal Push, 2 Path to Exile, 2 Spell Snare, 1 Devour Flesh, nice Death Shadow, 2 Mana Leak, 2 Cryptic Command, 1 Batter Skull, 23 lands with 4 creature lands.
Okay.
And the sideboard, quickly, 3 Rejection, 2 Click, 1 Tormod's Crypt, 1 Go for the Throat, 2 Engineered Explosives, that card's like one of the best cards in Modern, 1 Celestial Purge, 1 Nile Spellbomb, 2 Lost Legacy, 1 Disenchant, 1 Negate.
What is going on? I love it. I love seeing some new innovation. So
is Lost Legacy better than, like, Cranial Extraction? Or, like...
3 mana to 4 mana.
What else could it be? I mean, it wouldn't be Slaughter Games because it's
no red.
I don't know what
I'd have to ask, like what exactly they're trying to get with it. You know?
I would imagine that the things that they name most often are ad nauseum, and ad nauseum. But there's also probably you probably name like Grape Shot against Storm maybe.
Okay.
I don't know though because sometimes
we're seeing Ceremonious Rejection really all over the place. So either people are scared of Tron or that card's really good. Like 1 blue counter target colorless spell is pretty strong stuff. So
I think that more decks that did well had Ceremonious Rejection in their sideboard than any other card this weekend.
Yeah, I agree. Scape Shift.
Living End is another good one. Scape Shift is another one, but like Scape Shift is also has Titans. So like I don't know about Scape Shift. I don't feel like Lost Legacy is that good against them.
Yeah, it depends if
lights out against Living End and ad nauseum though.
Yeah, it could also hit Titans too, though. Mm-hmm. So that's not too bad. What do you think of Glory Bound Initiate? I really love the synergy here with playing turn 2. This creature is going to gain you life, and we're not messing around. Like this guy means it. 4 Painful Truths. Yeah. So put you to bed here with the Painful Truths.
Sorry. So
that's painful.
Why is it not a Seeker of the Way? What is going on?
Seeker of the Way?
Yeah, that's what it should be, right?
I don't think so. Because that means like you'd have to play the spell right away. So this allows him to like attack, not have to play it, be able to like have removal in hand, maybe sequence something so that afterwards when he
makes your instance better.
Yeah, exactly. Or after combat, then you want to Serum Visions, and now your Serum Visions might change if they killed the creature or not. So I think that's a real thing. I'm not sure about the numbers with the instance here. We got 4 Snapcaster Mages. And we do have 27 targets, but Painful Truths, you're not really hitting.
This deck might have gone better than 13-2.
Yeah,
this was a huge tournament.
Yeah,
13-2 missed top 16.
That's crazy.
And 3 12-3s missed min cash.
There was a lot of people complaining on the internet. Yeah,
that's a disgrace.
Yeah,
it's literally an embarrassment to like the idea of competitive Magic. It's so sad.
I could just it just reminds me of Richmond all over again when we had almost 3,000 players, and that was just terrible. I went X and 3 on that. Hey, Mike, what's going on? How we doing? 13th place at the Open with Boggles. Oh, nice.
Oh, I think I know him. He's a cool guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad. My Boggles is great. I did not play it this weekend. I played Burn, tried a new deck, and I thought that was fun playing something new. I had my one of Ensnaring Bridge. Uh-oh. I'm getting the daddy look.
Slipping into the lava, trying to keep from going under. Temperatures get me hotter.
I don't know what is going on right now.
I'm burning up for you, baby. That was my ode to you playing Burn.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I think that's all we wanted to touch on in the GPs. Let's go to Let's go over
This
here.
person cracks me up. A few minutes ago in the chat, they said, I'm playing black-white tokens now because it beats every deck in the meta. That was the statement that they made in the Twitch chat. And then they said, I sold the black-white Eldrazi deck 15 minutes ago. I have it built now. Why do you have it built? Your other deck beats every deck in the meta. I don't understand. That's why the Twitch chat is great.
So, Dylan, you're right. Bridge is insane. And the one time I played Bridge versus Death Shadow, I sequenced it to bait an Abrupt Decay for my opponent. Abrupt Decayed my Swift Spear, and then I slammed Death Shadow on like turn 6. And I'm like, all right, we got one of the Abrupt Decays. We're golden. My opponent then plays Death Shadow, Traverse for Death Shadow. And they're at 10. And I have 6 points of damage in my hand. I draw a land for the turn pass. He untaps, draws Kolgan's Command, and I just get dumped on. And I'm just
2 damage to myself, destroy your bridge.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he made me discard. Because I was crimped on white mana.
I would make you discard too.
So, so here we are. This is the last Modern tournament we're going to go over, and then we're going to touch into some Standard. We've got Grixis Death Shadow here, winning another tournament with Mr. Bradley Nelson, Master. I watched him play a couple matches this weekend. I can't even say anymore that I'm like impressed, because it's like beyond that. I'll be watching a game, and I'm just like, I can't sit behind him and go through every single play, but just consummate pro.
Brad Nelson?
Yeah.
It's great.
So
I gave him a big hug when he won. I was, yeah, you're great!
Yeah. We got Ben Friedman, who's also great, coming in at second.
Yeah, Ben Friedman's also great. Legigre, we will get to the slow play conversation a little bit towards the end.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. We have Amulet Titan coming up again. This deck is kind of like Storm. They keep, well, I don't want to say they keep banning it, but they take a piece away, and this is the first time we've seen it like in a major top 8 since then. Reed Duke doing his thing with Jund. We're playing Dark Confident again. I'm excited. Todd Stevens, Eldrazi-chan. We've got Ryan Hovis with Death Shadow. Craig Berry, 518 native.
No, he's not a 518.
Not anymore?
He's Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, born and raised. Escape Shift.
Yep.
Kill him.
He actually messaged me and told me to play his deck before the Open.
And
I thought that some of his card choices were silly, so I just played the one I was playing. And I lost. And Craig top 80 because he's great.
Okay.
And then James O'Shaughnessy with Grixis Death Shadow.
Another Grixis Death Shadow. So nothing really stands out here besides, I guess, Reed Duke traditional Jund. All the other lists, Amulet Titan, it's interesting to see one of those decks pop up. Todd Stevens has been known as an Eldrazi-tron, guy. That's his deck. We see other Death Shadows. I'm not surprised about that. Good to see Craig. I believe this is his first top 8 with Escape Shift. So in there, but I just want to pick off, we're going to pick off one deck. We went over Matia's Death Shadow deck, and we will be doing next week's Deck of the Week. Will be Grixis Death Shadow. That'll be Brad Nelson. So for those of you that don't know, on Tuesday at around 2 p.m., we stream live, and then we post the videos back up on our website of the Deck of the Week.
The Deck of the Week.
So we're going to go through that on Tuesday. We'll give you kind of like a rundown of the cards and talk a little bit briefly on each one and their kind of roles, and we'll get into that one. So I just want to pull this one up. Reed Duke's Jund list. People noticed that this was something that Reed was working on. A good friend of mine, Willie Adel, Hall of Famer, has recently come out with a new Abzan list. And it was, doing well. And he's actually stated online, social media, hey, I'm super excited. Like, I'm thinking about flying out to Vegas now to play because I really like my deck. And so this is great to see Reed come up with a traditional style of Jund and do very well with it.
Yeah, Lightning Bolt's definitely gotten much worse. I can see why there's only 2 there.
We've got 4 Dark Confident, 1 Grim Lavamancer, 3 Scavenging Ooze, 4 Goyf. Kind of an old creature package. The Grim Lavamancer is always a flex slot. Then we have 1 Olivia Valdarin.
This is Reed Duke. Other people are like Death Shadowing, Street Wraith, Stubborn Denial, Eldrazi-tron, all sorts of cool stuff. Counters Company, and playing 1 mana 8/8s or whatever you do when you play Death Shadow.
Yeah.
And Reed Duke is playing Olivia Voldart.
Yeah, he's trying to steal the Death Shadow. Come on over here.
The 4 mana 3/3 in Modern.
Yeah.
But that's how Reed is. He likes to play what he likes, and Jund is his jam.
Yeah.
He was like 12-0 or 11-0 at one point.
Yeah, he's incredible. Planeswalker package, we got 1 Chandra Torch of Defiance, 4 Liliana the Veil.
Mm-hmm.
Spells, this is a new thing. We only have 1 Abrupt Decay, 4 Fatal Push, 1 K Command, 2 Lightning Bolt, 3 Terminate, 4 Inquisition, 2 Thoughtseize, 1 Maelstrom Pulse. So a couple things there. We've trimmed down Abrupt Decays. We have the flip-flop of everybody else is doing 4 Thoughtseize, and Reed's decided to go with Inquisition instead, which I think is a nod to the Dark Confident.
Well, it's just a nod to he's not trying to lose life.
Yeah.
And Jund wants to make sure that they can get to the mid game.
Yeah. Agreed.
So it makes sense to me.
2 Lightning Bolt. Is that just, hey, we got Fatal Push, we don't need that many
It's just not as good as it used to be.
Okay.
There's not as many planeswalkers. There's more big creatures. You don't have to and Fatal Push kills a lot of the things that Lightning Bolt would kill.
Yeah.
And then some.
Okay.
Also making it easier on the mana, as you can get a basic swamp quite often. You don't really want to get a basic mountain.
Yeah, this is something
you don't even have one in your deck a lot of the time.
This is something we're seeing more with even Death Shadow decks, and Reed, obviously with being the Grand Prix Louisville champ this year with his Sultai
True name
mid-range,
Sultai deck,
pretty much, yeah. And it was kind of like a thing pointed out there where Reed had 2 basics to play around the Wasteland meta of Legacy. And you can see the basics here, not only to save damage, but it plays kind of around the Blood Moon plans people might have. 11-0. That's what he started off with. On the sideboard here, we got some Grafdigger's Cages, some Fulminator Mages, 1 more Grim Lavamancer, some stuff to gain life here, some Kitchen Finks, good chump blockers, and just to stall the board out. More Graveyard Hate with Leylines of the Void, 2 Ancient Grudge, 2 Brutality, and 1 Shatterstorm. Much of the same. I think the extra Lavamancer is kind of in reaction to the counters deck and the hype. Cage, just a great card right now versus that deck, as well as Storm. A little bit more different graveyard stuff going on with Leyline, and we also have Scavenging Ooze main deck, which kind of facilitates, maybe a Goryo's plan as opposed to being like a knockout.
Also, it's nice to gain just a couple life with Jund.
Okay.
2 or 3 life. It feels like it's something they do a lot. Scavenging Ooze allows them to make some concessions in the early game to ensure that they're going to dominate the mid and late game, and then it gains you a couple life back, and you might need it to stay comfortable.
So, the biggest, I guess, takeaway for this is if you bought your Goyfs and your Confidence a while ago when Jund was great, Reed's just Jund's great again. He's making it great again.
Jund is Jund. It is.
You can dust him off, bring the Lilies package together, and let's get back at it. All right, so we're going to wrap this up. We had the question in the beginning, is Modern healthy? 86.7% say it's healthy. Now we'll give a quick sec. I think it is. I'm pretty happy with it. I didn't do well this weekend in Modern. I played a different deck. I enjoyed the games. There was only 1 match that I just really didn't get to play too much. But other than that, I felt like it was pretty interactive, and yeah, I had fun.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's healthy too.
Okay.
I'm going to play a stupid blue deck next tournament I play, though. I don't know if I'm going to play... Harlan went 11-4 with his terrible deck, too.
You call it. Stupid blue deck by the daddy. All right, well, let's move it on to GP Omaha. So there's multiple Grand Prix going on this weekend. We've got GP Omaha, we've got GP Manila, and as well as GP Amsterdam. I will be hitting the road tomorrow, driving 20 hours.
You guys are crazy.
With Matt. Congrats, a little shout out to Matt. We played in the Classic. We both top 8'd. Matt won the Classic with his Temer Energy mid-range deck. And it also won the PTQ that same weekend, that same day. I think, or maybe it wasn't the same day. I think it was Monday, maybe. So yeah, I'm really
stoked. I'll be hitting the sky on Friday.
Yeah, I put on Facebook hashtag road trip, and he goes hashtag sky trip. So yeah,
they want to know about what happened with the game I ended up conceding.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that for the.
Yes, we'll get there. It's a great story.
Yeah, we're going to get in there for the wordplay with the food for thought for food segment. So, GP Omaha is going on this weekend. We did the deck of the week this week with the Teamer Marvel. We're going to start the poll off. Will Marvel win again? We had 2 Grand Prix last weekend. 2 weekends ago. You winning one of them. And both decks that won were Teamer Marvel decks. Mm-hmm. And there were multiple copies of Marvel in both top 8s.
Probably 8 decks out of 16 decks across two tournaments.
So the online metagame is not obviously a direct reflection, but we're looking at about 37% to 38% of the online metagames playing Teamer Marvel. So I think it's without a doubt the favorite, or I would say the best deck in Standard right now.
Certainly. But
I don't know. I think people are gunning for it. And, decks like what Matt played. And here's a statistic, not a statistic, but just a brief message I just want to put out to everyone that is kind of sick of the marveling. And we've heard the calls for the banning and, the cat ban and then now the Marvel ban. I played in the Classic. I played 7 rounds. I only played 2 Marvel mirrors in the Swiss. Mm-hmm. Then I went into the top 8, and I lost to Matt in round 1. And it made me think about something. I looked at all the decks in the top 8. All 4 of the decks in the top 8 of the Classic were all different decks. They were not Marvel decks, and they all beat Marvel decks in the top 8.
Okay.
And out of those 4 decks, there's still 1 or 2 other decks that are notable decks that people know about, respect, still play. And so I guess where I'm going with this is it's okay for Marvel to be the best deck. People are still, it's still too young to say, hey, it needs to be banned. People are still figuring out new ways to play around this deck, figuring out ways to beat this deck. And I think you're going to see Marvel decks move in other directions now because now you see online, I've been playing the last couple of days, Pummeler decks are back. Red-Black Aggro's back. And some of these super fast decks. And
I wouldn't say back.
Okay. Well, I would say that they're back just in the contention.
Jerry played it in a league or something doesn't mean it's back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I played the Classic as well. I played 7 rounds. I went 4-3. In 7 rounds, I played against 1 red-blue Gearhulk control deck and 6 Teamer Marvel mirror matches.
Wow, that's a lot.
And I lost 3 of them. I'm not very good, I guess. I don't know. I don't have any
champion
more
Montreal.
than that.
I'm not very good.
9-0 in mirrors in Montreal.
Yeah, but people adapt, and that's why I think people are starting to adapt to Marvel.
We're just so much.
There's you see in Matt's list, he had 3 ceremonious rejections to go with 3 negates in the main. I mean, playing a deck that's got Long Tusk Cub, all aggressive threats with some backup, that's a real plan.
Zombies, some zombies notwithstanding, I just feel anytime I play against a deck that's not Marvel, I feel like it's ridiculously easy. I don't remember what my other loss was at the Grand Prix. I wish I could remember now.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, in real life. Mm-hmm. Between Montreal and between the Classic, every other deck besides a Marvel mirror, I felt like it was...
Oh, it was red-blue.
It was easier.
I didn't know how to play it. It was red-blue. I didn't know how to play it. I lost to red-blue and zombies at the GP.
See, red-blue is kind of I'm a little worried about red-blue. I think it's a very good matchup for Marvel.
Tough. You just have to figure it out.
The problem is the sideboard. If your opponent's packing Thing and Ice and Dragon Master Outcast, it gets really weird. And you can just die to those cards. But other than that, I think it's actually a good matchup for Marvel. So,
I agree. I think it's a good matchup. I think if you just leave your Harness Lightnings in, I wouldn't worry too much. I wouldn't worry about Thing in the Ice. I think it's a trap and it sucks and they shouldn't bring it in. Okay. I think Dragon Master Outcast is great, and you should be very scared of it.
Yeah, it's super mana efficient. You can get a couple points of damage in even with it.
Just play it on 8 mana and have 5 counter spells in there.
Yeah, or you just play it turn 1 and say go.
Yeah, that's much worse, I think.
Really?
They'll just harness lightning in.
Oh, the Temur version. Okay, I was specifically thinking versus my deck. Versus my deck, I just like float to it.
Can't be.
Yeah, the band one, it's just like, all right,
Descend, exile your 1/1.
Yeah, but I never have those game 2, so it's like I had better win game 1 and then hope they don't have it on game 2. So, so for this weekend, we've got 3 different Grand Prix. Will Marvel win again? Is the the topic point here? Do you think it's still the best deck? Do you think that it's going to have an overwhelming success rate this weekend?
I think it'll be good. I think it'll probably win. I'd say I'm like 70% to think that Marvel would win. Versus
2 out of the 3.
Yeah.
2 out of the 3 Grand Prix will be Marvel winners. Is that pretty?
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Okay.
But I think we're gonna start to see like people attacking it, so we'll see some spell quellers show up. Like the blue-white deck, I think is pretty bad, but if you just play like Mardu vehicles with spell queller in it, I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
There's less other fast
like the
decks.
Esper deck.
Yeah, kinda.
Okay.
You can still play like red cards if you want.
We can pull some of the meta up here. Yeah, Mike, our games were really awesome. There's few times where I can say like literally that when you play against someone and your games, you're just like in the moment. It happens to me once in a while, and I'm just thinking about it. Man, these games were great. You go to like the game 3 and you just think like nobody got land screwed. Everyone could play their spells. There was decision points at multiple stops in the game. And you're just like, man, this is like what I came to do here. I came to like play these kind of games.
There we go. We got an Esper aggro deck here.
Okay.
And we've got, but first let's click on this red-green. Ben White's.
Yeah. This is Pummeler.
Is it Pummeler? Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
So
Yeah, I'm terrified to play against this. I feel like this is a nightmare.
Yeah, I got destroyed playing online last night against this deck. It's very... I think the Marvel decks, whether you're playing Bant or the more popular Mardu, Temur, if Long Tusk Cub resolves and you don't have a Harness Lightning, you're in bad shape.
It's so good.
And even if you kill this, I lost to this card, Electrostatic Pummeler, multiple times yesterday. Because yet again, if you don't have a harness and they just go like whatever, turn 2, Servant, they play the Pummeler and Attune, whatever, they get up to like 9 energy, they just play the Rampage and you're just dead. Like, I lost 2 games yesterday where I was like, there's no way I could lose this game. Like, I have a meltdown. I have a meltdown for his thing, and he's just like
double strike attack,
trample, you're dead, and I'm just felt like, man, maybe this deck, and it's weird because if this deck is popular, right, or if this deck starts to gain popularity, blue red gets better.
I think blue red has some trouble with this deck.
Really?
Yeah.
I think a deck that's got counter spells like a Essence Scatter and Censor, while adding Magma Spray and Lightning
Cub and
Harness Lightning.
Cub and Hydra with
Did you not sleep last night?
I did not sleep last night.
Yeah. I can tell. What's going on, bud?
Had a really bad toothache, so I was up all night. So
we need to get you some Send to Sleep with Spell Mastery. Heads to bed.
Get some, I don't know, maybe get it ripped out of my head or something because it hurts a lot. It sucks.
All right, well, we're going to do that. We're going to take Tooth. Is there a card that we can talk about with the Tooth?
I saw the Tooth Collector when I was putting cards away today, and I was like, ugh. This reminded me my tooth hurt.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, it was bugging me this weekend, too. And I figured out that medicine didn't really work too well, but the one good cure was whiskey. I put whiskey on it, and I was like, oh, I feel like I'm in the 1800s or something. And I was after I had whiskey, I was like, oh man, my tooth doesn't hurt, and I'm kind of happy, and this is nice.
Oh wow. So just doing a quick little glance here, I just want to give everyone a perspective, and like I said, the caveat is this is online. 36% of the meta is playing Tamer. Then we have blue-red control at 14%, Mardu at 10%, and then we have a bunch of decks. There's like a handful of decks here that are at 4%. And not that this is perfect. I'm not saying that turn 4 Lamags are great for the game. I'm not saying that. But this is Magic. You're going to have a deck that's the best deck, and then you're going to have other decks that are close. I think like the percentages are going to start shifting a lot more, and I don't know what the right algorithm is to make everyone happy, but I'm fine with this. I think this is fine for Magic.
Yeah, I don't know. It just depends on what happens, right? Like, so we know that there's things like red-green Pummeler certain versions of zombies.
Black-green
energy that can compete against Marvel. We know that those decks exist and they can be good against Marvel. There's also some sort of spell queller deck that's probably good against Marvel too.
Yeah.
Not the white blue one because that deck is underpowered and is really bad. Sadly, I wish it was good, but it's not. We know that these decks exist that can compete with Marvel, but like, are they good enough against other things to play them, or is it just like Marvel?
Yeah, are they going to
play some terrible thing that beats Marvel and folds to everything else, including itself, some percent of the time?
I totally agree with you. Like Pummeler, exactly the point. Like I think you're trying to bring up here is like we're talking about a league on Moto 5 rounds. 4 of those 5 rounds you play Marvel and it's a great matchup for you, and then you play against like the one of the rounds just some off the wall deck too that you just happen to be good against, and you put up a 5-0 result. Not to take anything away from if that's Ben White's or whoever puts a 5-0 because that's tough online. But like, that's a small sample size. Like, if you can put that'll be a thing. If we see a Pummeler deck into the top 8 at one of these Grand Prix, then it'll be like, all right, this is something like we need to be aware of now. You know, we got decks like even the energy decks running main deck magma sprays, and so maybe it is a good time for that kind of a deck this weekend. Whereas you see, you know, even though they still have Harness Lightning. You can't Harness Lightning everything. You still have to have Harness Lightning, and trying to get underneath, I think, is a good idea.
MTGO leagues are FNM level weak. Well,
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree. I've never 5-0'd in my life, and I haven't even really come close.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that
must be way better than me.
Yeah. I 5-0'd a couple times. Like for this current season, I don't have a 5-0 on my standard. Yeah. And we've both proven to be pretty good at this standard format.
You've 5-0'd before?
Yeah, I 5-0'd leagues before.
Oh, that's awesome. Dude, way to go.
Yeah. Yeah! 5-0! I tried... You know, I was going to try to 5-0.
If you 5-0 a league...
Before we left...
Send me proof and I will send you a dab.
Oh, dab of the day by Kevin Jones. Dab of the day, I like that.
Magic Online is way harder than in real life Magic. I agree with this. Oh, it's Zach.
Yeah. I don't know if I agree with him 100%, but I will say... It's closer than people think, and I think like the PTQs are really like they're the PTQs I think are harder, but 5-0 in league is tough.
I think it's harder to 5-0 modern because you just can play against random nonsense every single
Definitely
round.
Agree with that. Modern is way harder to 5-0.
I was recording a video here, and I was playing a modern league, and
all right, we're back. We can't see us, but we're back. We're talking about Omaha. Sorry, everyone, for the technical difficulties today. We're having a little bit of a problem with our computer. It's kind of acting up. If we do freeze one more time, that's going to be the end of the show, unfortunately.
We're hanging it up.
So we're going to try to
if we freeze
finish
again,
strong.
We quit.
Never quit. Never back down. Never surrender. It's like a John Cena line. Because you can't see me. All right, so we're going to move on to the last topic. But first... The last poll, we have it in here. Will Marvel win again? 71.4% say yes.
Why don't more people vote in the polls?
Oh, we don't have a ton of people in today. We got a lot. There's
we
Moto
don't have a lot
up.
of viewers today?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. Well, maybe because we're dropping.
Tell your friends.
Dropping like it's hot.
Watch our show. Tell your friends to watch our show.
Dang, that was like a mean daddy. All right, we're going to go into the last topic. We got our sweet background here. Thought for food. So we got a couple things. Kevin wants to talk about something that happened to him this weekend. But first, we're going to start off with the poll. And this kind of goes right into a couple people were asking about this earlier in the show. Is it okay in the finals for players to be given extra time?
So, if you were waiting all show to talk about this slow play thing and Brad Nelson having already had a slow play warning and not getting one in the finals and how you feel about that, then this is the time to talk about that and vote about it. So I know people were talking about it before, so if you're still here, it's time to bring it up.
Yeah.
We're ready to talk about it.
Agreed. So I did not. So I was driving on the way back with the hashtag swag bus. And
swag bus.
And Cake, aka Nick Langella, was had it on his phone, and so I could hear, but I couldn't hear.
Did
I
could hear them?
I did.
So you didn't go clubbing or whatever it was that they did on Saturday night?
I didn't.
Oh man.
I had a tournament to prep for.
I know, but
and if I didn't go with them, I probably wouldn't have top 8'd.
If you go clubbing with with Nick, I'd imagine that no one can touch you. He's just huge.
Sure.
Finals isn't timed.
Finals is not timed, but you are asked to play at an appropriate pace. So there's that.
Yeah, it's like, I think you should not be given more time. I think
Okay.
that the standards should be consistent, but the rules are like kind of weird as is. The
Okay.
rules are like, when the judge decides that they feel slow play has occurred, they can give a slow play warning.
Okay.
I don't think there's an actual like number of seconds or minutes that, sure, like if someone takes 5 minutes, it's a slow play warning.
Well, the judge should get a slow play.
KerwinsGameStore.com is the online source for your gaming needs. We stock sealed products and card singles from Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Weiss Schwartz. We also carry singles for HeroClix and Star Wars Destiny. With our free economy shipping on all orders and responsive customer service, you get more of the games you want hassle-free. Shop KerwinsGameStore.com today and see why we are the best place in gaming.